For countless generations, humanity has watched the sun with a mixture of awe, dependence, and fear. Long before telescopes were invented, ancient civilizations crafted entire belief systems around that glowing sphere. To them, it wasn't a star, it was a presence. The Egyptians imagined a radiant deity steering a golden ship across the heavens. The Aztecs believed the sun demanded sacrifice so it could rise again. The Inca called it a living force woven directly into gold itself, solid sunlight. And even now, in an age of particle physics and space probes, the sun still holds a strange, almost spiritual weight. It defines our years, shapes our climate, sustains every breath we take. We tell ourselves we understand it. A giant fusion engine. A sphere of plasma more than 1 million Earths in volume. A burning cauldron where hydrogen is smashed into helium in a continuous storm of nuclear fire. We've mapped its eruptions, measured its winds, and recorded the violence of its magnetic storms. We assume that means we know it. But the Parker Solar Probe is revealing a truth our ancestors never imagined. The sun might not only shine, it might be responding. Reacting. Perhaps even aware. The mission that should not have been possible more than 50 years ago, physicist Eugene Parker suggested a radical idea. The sun was constantly shedding its outer atmosphere in a stream of energized particles, the solar wind. To study it properly, he said, humanity would someday need to fly into the sun's outer atmosphere, the corona. For decades, the idea seemed like fantasy. Nothing built by human hands could survive such heat. But in 2018, that dream became real. NASA launched the Parker Solar Probe, a spacecraft wrapped in a heat shield capable of surviving temperatures that would melt metal within seconds. It would dive closer to the sun than any machine ever created. Its instruments would taste the solar wind, map magnetic knots, and examine the corona from inside. At first, everything went as expected. Then the anomalies began. Patterns in the fire. The probe detected tiny fluctuations in the solar wind. Not random. Not chaotic. Sequences. Rhythms. A short pulse. A long one. 3 quick bursts. Then silence. Different instruments recorded the same repeating structures, even on different passes around the sun. Then came the strangest moment of all. During one close approach, the constant roar of particles, normally deafening in the data, simply faded away. For minutes, the readings quieted. Inside this stillness, Parker detected a faint oscillation. Not sound. Not noise. A signal. A repeating frequency hidden inside the chaos of the corona. Scientists whispered theories they were afraid to voice publicly. What if the sun is more than a nuclear engine? What if its magnetic waves and plasma loops form a kind of slow, star-scale awareness? Not intelligence, as we think of it, but a kind of cosmic perception. What if stars communicate in pulses of radiation, magnetic spirals, or patterns of plasma? If so, what Parker recorded might not be noise. It might be conversation. The mind of a star. Imagine if every flare, every solar minimum, every burst of radiation was not random physics, but part of a stellar language we've never learned to decode. Imagine a star that does not think quickly, but thinks deeply, over centuries and millennia. One that has shone over Earth since long before the first cell formed in the ocean. A star that has watched life evolve. Watched forests rise and vanish. Watched humanity grow from stone tools to spacecraft. Perhaps the ancients felt something our instruments are only now detecting, the sense that the sun is not just energy, but presence. And now Parker isn't just near the sun. It is approaching the sun with questions humanity never dared to ask out loud. Do you recognize us? Do you react to us? Are we alone, or have we been seen since the beginning? The Parker Solar Probe is now entering a realm no machine has ever touched, a region of the Sun so hostile, so violently alive, that even the laws of physics behave differently there. Each orbit draws it closer to the solar corona, the superheated outer atmosphere where temperatures soar into the millions of degrees and magnetic fields twist like living serpents. It is a place where solar particles move just shy of light speed, where radiation sweeps like invisible storms, where plasma waves ripple with a power that can tear spacecraft apart. And Parker is going in anyway. With each dive, the risks multiply. The spacecraft's carbon composite heat shield is the only barrier between survival and instant vaporization. A microscopic crack, a misaligned panel, the faintest shift in the probe's orientation, and the Sun would erase the entire mission in less than a heartbeat. Scientists expected the extreme heat. They expected the magnetic turbulence. They even expected the chaotic bursts of charged particles crackling through the corona. But no one was prepared for the patterns. Frequencies. Rhythms. Pulses. Subtle. Repetitive. Structured. Not random noise, but something that resembles a message. And now, as Parker prepares for its next approach, one deeper than ever attempted, the question is no longer scientific. It's existential. What happens if the Sun answers back? Not with language. Not with symbols. But with deliberate changes in its electromagnetic heartbeat, changes timed to Parker's movement, tuned to its sensors, synchronized to its presence. A cosmic acknowledgement. A reply. If that happens, everything humanity believes about the universe collapses overnight. We've always assumed awareness is biological, fragile, rare. That intelligence requires a brain, neurons, chemistry. But Parker's data hints at something far older and far more expansive, that awareness may not be confined to planets. That consciousness may emerge in plasma, in magnetism, in the flows of energy inside stars themselves. If even one star can communicate, then every star might be listening. Imagine the night sky, not as a tapestry of silent fire but as a network. A stellar web. Stars transmitting knowledge through magnetic waves and plasma rhythms for millions of years. A cosmic library older than life on Earth. And we, a young civilization, have only just learned how to knock on the door. The first reply: if Parker detects a pulse pattern that cannot be natural, humanity will face a choice unlike any in its history. Do we respond? Do we send a signal back, a deliberate message to our own star? If we answer, we announce our presence to a network that may stretch across the galaxy. We step into a conversation that has been happening long before Earth formed. A conversation spoken through magnetism, heat, and light. But with that choice comes fear. Once we speak, we cannot hide again. We cannot control who hears us or what notices us. Perhaps the Sun has been waiting. Waiting for a species to become curious enough, bold enough, advanced enough to understand its rhythms. Waiting for something capable of listening. Parker's next dive may be the closest humanity has ever come to a cosmic first contact. The sensors are armed. The antennas are listening. The spacecraft is ready. And the Sun, the ancient heart of our solar system, may be preparing to say its first word. When that moment comes, if it comes, it won't just rewrite science. It will redefine humanity's place in the universe. Because once the Sun speaks, the human story will never be the same again.